Hello, my name is Pastor Kris Kollar. I'm the pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas, Ohio. Greetings. We are reading through the Bible with commentary. We are in the fifth book of the Bible, Deuteronomy, which is the fifth book of the Torah, which is the law. Deuteronomy in particular sums up the entire law, the history of Israel up to that point as they are preparing to enter the promised land, and Moses is handing over leadership to Joshua. These are kind of like the final summation of here's where we've come from, here's where we're going, and here's how you are to live. So we heard yesterday that Moses charged them to have 6 of the tribes on one mountain, 6 on another mountain, and to state curses. And they would say, "Curse be," and then the people would say, "Amen." So now we're going to have some blessings, but also some more curses. So chapter 28. If you will only obey the Lord your God by diligently observing all his commandments that I am commanding you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. All these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your ground, the fruit of your livestock, both the increase of your cattle and the issue of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you in one way and flee before you 7 ways. The Lord will command the blessing upon you in your barns and in all that you undertake. He will bless you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. The Lord will establish you as his holy people, as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandments that the Lord your God and walk in his ways. All the peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. The Lord will make you abound in prosperity, in the fruit of your womb, in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land that the Lord swore to your ancestors to give you. The Lord will open for you his rich storehouse, the heavens, to give you the rain of your land in its season, and to bless all your undertakings. You will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. You shall be only at the top and not at the bottom, if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I am commanding you today, by diligently observing them, and if you do not turn aside from any of the words that I am commanding you today, either to the right or to the left, following other gods to serve them. So yesterday we heard all these curses. Today a bunch of blessings. If you choose and follow the commandments, then God is going to bless. But if you will not obey the Lord your God by diligently observing all his commandments and decrees, which I am commanding you today, then all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. Cursed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed shall be the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your ground, the increase of your cattle, and the issue of your flock. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. Verse 20, the Lord will send upon you disaster, panic, and frustration in everything you attempt to do, until you are destroyed and perish quickly on account of the evil of your deeds, because you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the pestilence cling to you until it has consumed you off the land that you are entering to possess. The Lord will afflict you with consumption, fever, inflammation, with fiery heat and drought, and with blight and mildew. They shall pursue you until you perish. The sky over your head shall be bronze, the earth under you iron. The Lord will change the rain of your land into powder, and only dust shall come down upon you from the sky until you are destroyed. There's a lot more curses here than blessings, because it just keeps going. Verse 25, the Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out against them 1 way, and flee before them 7 ways. You shall become an object of horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. Your corpses shall be food for every bird of the air and animal of the earth, and there shall be no one to frighten them away. The Lord will afflict you with boils of Egypt, with ulcers, scurvy, and itch, of which you cannot be healed. The Lord will afflict you with madness, blindness, and confusion of mind. You shall grope about at noon as blind people grope in darkness, but you shall be unable to find your way. You shall be continually abused and robbed without anyone to help. You shall become engaged to a woman, but another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, but not live in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but not enjoy its fruit. Your ox shall be butchered before your eyes, but you will not eat of it. Your donkey shall be stolen in front of you, and shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, without anyone to help you. Your sons and daughters shall be given to another people, while you look on. You will strain your eyes looking for them all day, but be powerless to do anything. A people whom you do not know shall eat up the fruit of your ground, and all of your labors. You shall be continually abused and crushed, and driven mad by the sight that your eyes shall see. The Lord will strike you on the knees and on the legs with grievous boils of which you cannot be healed, from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. The Lord will bring you, and the king whom you have set over you, to a nation that neither you nor your ancestors have known, where you shall serve other gods of wood and stone. You shall become an object of horror, a proverb, and a byword among all the peoples, where the Lord will lead you. There's still more curses to come. There's still way more curses than blessings. Verse 38, you shall carry much seed into the field, but shall gather little in, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and dress them, but you shall neither drink the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. You shall have olive trees throughout all your territory, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olives shall drop off. You shall have sons and daughters, but they shall not remain yours, for they shall go into captivity. All your trees and the fruit of your ground and the cicada shall take over. Aliens residing among you shall ascend above you higher and higher, while you shall descend lower and lower. They shall lend to you, but you shall not lend to them. They shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. All these curses shall come upon you, pursuing and overtaking you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the Lord your God by observing the commandments and the decrees that he commanded you. They shall be among you and your descendants as a sign and a portent forever. Verse 47, because you did not serve the Lord your God joyfully and with gladness of heart for the abundance of everything, therefore you shall serve your enemies whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger and thirst, in nakedness and lack of everything. He will put an iron yoke on your neck until he has destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation from far away, from the end of the earth, to swoop down on you like an eagle, a nation whose language you do not understand, a grim-faced nation showing no respect to the old or favor to the young. It shall consume the fruit of your livestock and the fruit of your ground until you are destroyed, leaving you neither grain, wine, and oil, nor the increase of your cattle and the issue of your flock, until it has made you perish. It shall besiege you in all your towns until your high and fortified walls in which you trusted shall come down throughout your land. It shall besiege you in all your towns throughout the land that the Lord your God has given you. In the desperate straits to which the enemy's siege reduces you, you will eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your own sons and daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you. So they're saying it's going to be so bad, the enemy is going to come, you're going to be besieged, you're going to eat your children. Even the most refined and gentle of men among you will begrudge food to his own brother, to the wife whom he embraces, to the last of his remaining children, giving to none of them any of the flesh of his children whom he is eating, because nothing else remains to him, and the desperate straits to which the enemy siege will reduce you in all your towns. She who is the most refined and gentle among you, so gentle and refined that she does not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground, will begrudge food to the husband whom she embraces, to her own son and to her own daughter, begrudging even the afterbirth that comes out from between her thighs, and the children that she bears, because she is eating them in secret for lack of anything else, in the desperate straits to which the enemy's siege will reduce you in your towns. Verse 58, if you do not diligently observe all the words of this law that are written in this book, fearing this glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will overwhelm both you and your offspring with severe and lasting afflictions, and grievous and lasting maladies. He will bring back upon you all the diseases of Egypt, of which you were in dread, and they shall cling to you. Every other malady and affliction, even though not recorded in the book of this law, the Lord will afflict on you until you are destroyed. Although once you were as numerous as the stars in heaven, you shall be left few in number, because you did not obey the Lord your God. And just as the Lord took delight in making you prosperous and numerous, so the Lord will take delight in bringing you to ruin and destruction. You shall be plucked off the land that you are entering to possess. The Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your ancestors have known. Among those nations you shall find no ease, no resting place for the sole of your foot. There the Lord will give you a trembling heart, failing eyes, and a languishing spirit. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. Night and day you shall be in dread, with no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, if only it were evening, and in the evening you shall say, if only it were morning, because of the dread that your heart shall feel, and the sights that your eyes shall see. The Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt, by a route that I promised you would never see again, and there you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. So a lot more curses that we just read than blessings, making it very clear God is very serious. This is a covenant. They are to do their part, and God will do his part. But if the Israelites fail to do their part, there will be repercussions. Chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant that the Lord commanded Moses to make with the Israelites in the land of Moab, in addition to the covenant that he made with them at Horeb. So Horeb is also Mount Sinai, and Moab is the land to the east of the Jordan River. So while they're there, they're getting all of the covenant and all of the agreements, and this is like a second law. There's the law, the 10 Commandments, and then there's the minutiae, which are included in the book of Deuteronomy. Verse 2, Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, you have seen all the Lord that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to his servants and to all of his land, the great trials that your eyes saw, the signs and those great wonders. You could say, well, wait, I thought all of the older generation have died. They did, but collectively they are to have told their children that this is what happened. And maybe some of the oldest now living children might remember when they were very, very little some of the things that happened. But collectively, they saw that God did great things. Verse 4, but to this day the Lord has not given you a mind to understand, or eyes to see, or ears to hear. I have led you, that is Moses, 40 years in the wilderness. The clothes on your back have not worn out, and the sandals on your feet have not worn out. You have not eaten bread, you have not drunk wine or strong drink, so that you may know that I am the Lord your God. Okay, it's not Moses, it's the Lord that is speaking to them. Verse 7, when you came to this place, King Sihon of Heshbon, King Og of Bashan, came out against us for battle, but we defeated them. We took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Therefore diligently observe the words of this covenant, in order that you may succeed in everything that you do. Verse 10, you stand assembled today, all of you, before the Lord your God, the leaders of your tribes, your elders and your officials, all the men of Israel, your children, your women, and the aliens who are in your camp, both those who cut your wood and those who draw your water, to enter into the covenant of the Lord your God, sworn by an oath, which the Lord your God is making with you today, in order that he may establish you today as his people, and that he may be your God, as he promised you, and as he swore to your ancestors, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I am making this covenant sworn by an oath, not only with you who stand here with us today before the Lord our God, but also with those who are not here with us today. You know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the midst of the nations through which you passed. You have seen their detestable things, the filthy idols of wood and stone, of silver and gold that were among them. It may be that there is among you a man or a woman or a family or a tribe whose heart is already turning away from the Lord our God to serve the gods of those nations. It may be that there is among you a root sprouting poisonous and bitter growth. All who hear the words of this oath and bless themselves, thinking in their hearts, "We are safe, even though we go our own stubborn ways," and thus bringing disaster on moist and dry alike. And that's whatever that means is not clear. The Lord will be unwilling to pardon them, for the Lord's anger and passion will smoke against them. All the curses written in this book will descend on them, and the Lord will blot out their names from under heaven. The Lord will single them out from all the tribes of Israel for calamity, in accordance with all the curses of the covenant written in this book of the law. The next generation, your children, will rise up after you, as well as the foreigner who comes from a distant country, will see the devastation of that land and the afflictions with which the Lord has afflicted it. All its soil burned out by sulfur and salt, nothing planted, nothing sprouting, unable to support any vegetation, like the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord destroyed in his fierce anger. They and indeed all the nations will wonder, why has the Lord done this thus to this land? What caused this great display of anger? They will conclude, it is because they abandoned the covenant of the Lord the God their ancestors, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. They turned and served other gods, worshipping them, gods whom they had not known, and whom he had not allotted to them. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against that land, bringing on it every curse written in this book. The Lord uprooted them from their land in anger, fury, and great wrath, and cast them into another land, as is now the case. This is a suppose in the future kind of thing, that when they break the curse, when they do these terrible things, when they break the laws, the curses will come and the land will be destroyed. Verse 29, the secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the revealed things belong to us and to our children forever, to observe all the words of this law. This was 2 chapters. I think I'm going to stop there, even though the next chapter is very short, because next chapter talks about God saying that he will be faithful. And this is the thing, is God is faithful. Humans, not so much. And so sure enough, in the future, we know that the Israelites are going to fail. They are going to go after other gods. They are going to fail to keep the entire law and the commandments. And God is going to have their enemies come and exile them and take them away. This is going to happen to the Israelites in the future. But for right now, they're getting ready to go into the promised land, and hopefully they'll keep the law for at least a little while. So, of course, keeping the law is very hard, but that's why the Jewish people have taken each verse and expanded it and said, okay, don't boil a kid in its mother's milk. Fine, we won't have meat and milk at the same time ever, because they want to keep all of the law. But the most important law, love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind. It's very hard to measure. You can't just say, well, I've got a fork for meat and a fork for dairy. How do you show that you love God? And then the next command, to love your neighbor as yourself. How do you show that you love others like you love yourself? How can you practically do that? And of course, so many of the commandments talk about taking care of the widows, the orphans, the people at the edges of society. To love our neighbor includes loving those people who are very needy. And so you can say, well, I do all of this minutia of law, but do you love God? Do you love others? And nobody can tell that without looking inside your heart. And in the end, how do we get to heaven? We get to heaven by the grace of God, because Jesus died for us and forgives us. And as we trust in that, as we walk in that, as we receive that in faith, by grace, through faith, we are saved, not because we keep the law. The law does, however, paint a way to live healthy, a way to live righteously before our God. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thanks so much for being with us today. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for being here.